Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be discussing what was perhaps the most controversial twist in all of Black Clover. The shocking new chapter of Black Clover is already being criticized and debated by fans all over the internet. This might have been a step too far for Tabata, and a lot of fans are not happy. Let's put it this way. Asta just carried a completely naked woman in his arms, and that is the least controversial part of the entire chapter. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed the Black Clover content here on the channel and you want to see more, you know what to do. Just leave a quick like and comment. It only takes a second, but it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new to AnimeUproar, or maybe you actually watch our videos regularly, but you just haven't taken the time to subscribe yet, do me a favor and make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. It is a quick little thing, but it's also a very real way of directly supporting the channel. Finally, this video will of course contain Black Clover manga spoilers, so please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now, my biggest question from the previous chapter was whether Megicula had really been defeated, or whether she would just find some way to regenerate yet again like she's done multiple times before. The latest chapter confirms right at the beginning that Megicula has in fact been defeated, at least for now. Not only is her decaying world curse dissolving, but even the curse that she had placed on Loro Pechica has completely disappeared from Loro's body. Since this is a curse that has been affecting Loro for a very long time and it wasn't just some temporary thing, the fact that it disappeared does signal that Megicula has been banished from this world. Again, I have to say, for now, because we can't say for sure that Megicula is actually dead. As we know, she only partially manifested into this world. She was not at her full power. So her true body is likely still somewhere deep within the underworld. If the Tree of Qliphoth isn't closed soon, Megicula may still return through the Qliphoth at some point in the future. Personally, I do think that she will return at some point, just because of the fact that we still haven't seen her at her full power. I would find it a bit unsatisfying if Megicula was killed before we ever got to see her at full power, since she is such a major villain and one of the strongest and highest ranked devils. But we'll have to wait to find out more. As Loro's curse disappears, she regains consciousness and she suddenly finds herself completely naked and being held by Asta. Loro understandably freaks out and apologizes to Asta for being naked, and meanwhile Asta is also kind of confused and he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen anything, don't worry." "Sure, Asta, sure, bro."
"Are you sure about that?"
Anyway, at the sight of Asta holding a naked Loro, Noel goes back into full tsundere mode and punches Asta to get him away from Loro. Noel then embraces Loro, and both her and Undine are absolutely ecstatic to see that Loro is actually okay. Meanwhile, Noel is also super excited to see Asta, but she is embarrassed at the same time, and so she continues to be an aggressive tsundere towards a confused Asta. I have to say, this was disappointing to see. I mean, I can appreciate the humor in this situation, but after all of the character development that Noel has gone through, including finally facing up to her true feelings for Asta, seeing her go back to this ditzy tsundere stuff was not very daijobu, in my opinion. I hope this won't last and that she will confess her feelings soon, but if she does revert back to an aggressive tsundere for a longer period of time, I will be disappointed. Next up, Rill reveals to Charlotte that the effects of his spell Twilight of Valhalla are about to run out. This is bad news for Rill, Charlotte, and Gaia, who were basically on life support before the spell helped them recover some of their strength. Just as Loro sees Gaia and runs towards him, he only has enough energy to say to her that he's glad she's safe before dropping to the ground. Charlotte and Rill also collapse, and for a moment it looks like all three of them might die. Haha, yeah right, this is Black Clover, but it does look like that for like a few seconds as Loro tries to use her water recovery magic to help them heal, but the magic proves incapable of healing such severe injuries. Asta is also unable to help, and Loro begins to cry as she considers the prospect of Gaia, Charlotte, and Rill dying without being able to do anything for them. And yet, they are in this situation because they sacrificed so much to help Loro. Noel is also on the verge of despair, but that is when Noct shows up, entering the room through a shadow on the floor. At first, Noct is very somber, as if he had already accepted the fact that Gaia and the others will die. He says that nothing can be done for them now, and that's okay because at least they beat one of the strongest devils, so that makes these sacrifices worthwhile. He also says that while he would like the righteous to always be rewarded for their good deeds, that simply isn't realistic because reality is far more brutal. And as Noct is giving this little speech, I'm thinking, okay, so I guess Noct is preparing us for a real loss that is about to take place. We are about to see the very real consequences of fighting an overpowered opponent like Megicula. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't think that Charlotte or Rill would really die, but I thought that Noct's words would at least apply to Gaia because he was all but dead even before Twilight of Valhalla kicked in. I mean, even Gaia himself had accepted that he was about to die. But then, Noct reveals that he brought someone with him, Mimosa. Mimosa enters the chat, she vows not to let anyone die, and she then uses ultimate plant magic to instantly heal Charlotte, Rill, and Gaia. As Noelle says that, thanks to magic, reality can be turned into whatever we want it to be, a now fully recovered Gaia confesses his feelings to an emotional Loro. He tells her that he loves her, not as a queen, but as a woman. Loro blushes profusely. Everyone is just kind of surprised that Gaia would confess his feelings at a time like this, and Nozel and Noct are already thinking about the next steps. Nozel is thinking about the need to save Yami since he is clearly an effective captain who managed to make his little sister much stronger, and Noct is thinking about the final Dark Triad member who still has to be defeated, Xenon. The chapter then switches focus to the chamber where Yuno and Langris are fighting Xenon a short time before Megicula was defeated at a different location. Xenon, in his absolutely terrifying devil form, is anxious to end this fight once and for all. Yuno tells Langris to buy him 3 minutes and he will end it all with the next attack, and that is how this chapter ends. And while I am excited to see the Xenon fight, I have to go back to what just happened in the other location with Mimosa basically becoming Shenron from Dragon Ball Z. We all know the meme that no one dies in Black Clover, but this chapter took that meme to a whole other level, and this has generated a lot of controversy. This could be the most controversial chapter in Black Clover to date, and many fans are already talking about it online, and from what I've seen, a lot of people are very upset. As for me, I'm not upset. My job is talking about anime and manga, so there's no reason for me to be mad. Just getting to make these videos is freaking awesome and I love it. But I do agree that this was not a great chapter, and this could have serious consequences for the future of the story. Now, just to be clear, it is not true that literally no one dies in Black Clover. Many characters died in the past before the series started, and we saw their deaths in flashbacks. Villains like Zagred have also died, and some very minor side characters have died, like those members of the Golden Dawn who were killed by Xenon. However, it is true that even somewhat important characters in Black Clover who are alive when the story started simply don't die. During this Megicula fight, both Vanica and Gaia were on the brink of death, and let's be real, neither of these characters are characters that the story can't go on without. They are relevant characters in this arc, but the series would certainly survive without them, and yet from the looks of it, they are both still alive. But worse than that, the ultimate plant magic recovery spell that Mimosa used seems way too overpowered. And unless we're all missing something, this spell really lowers the stakes for the showdown inside the Spade Kingdom. Not only was Mimosa able to save someone from certain death almost instantly, she was able to do it for 3 people at once. And Gaia was practically dead already, and yet he was seemingly fully healed in like 2 seconds. I mean, that's great for Gaia and Loro, and I have huge respect for Gaia for publicly confessing his feelings, by the way, take a hint, Noelle. But this was not necessarily good for the story as a whole. If even a minor character like Gaia is gonna be saved from certain death, then how are we supposed to believe that any major character's life will ever be in danger? How are we supposed to feel actual tension about someone like Yami or Yuno potentially dying when it seems practically certain that no one important is going to die in Black Clover, period? While this doesn't upset me personally, and while I am still enjoying the story, I can definitely understand why some people are upset, and why they feel that Mimosa basically becoming Shenron is bad for the story. Even though I liked certain aspects of this chapter, I have to say that this is one of my least favorite chapters in the whole series. Noelle going back into aggressive tsundere mode and then Mimosa instant reviving 3 people at once was pretty disappointing, not gonna lie. I really hope that Noelle's reversion to tsundere will be temporary and that she will eventually summon the courage to tell Asta the truth, just like Gaia did with Loro. I also hope that Mimosa's power will have strict limitations and that she won't be able to just instantly revive anyone who gets injured during this showdown. Because if she can do that, then why even worry about the outcome? If Mimosa can really do this and there are no major limitations on her power, then we already know the good guys are gonna crush it, the bad guys are gonna lose, and every even remotely relevant character is going to survive. In terms of Black Clover's story developments that I didn't like, this is right up there with everyone instantly forgiving Patry for all the horrible things that he had done for years, and then Patry suddenly going from one of the main villains of an entire saga to a good guy elf. And I won't even get into the whole Julius controversy because then we'd be here all day. Instead of getting into it, I'll turn it over to you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about this chapter, including Noelle reverting back to a violent tsundere and Mimosa becoming Shenron from DBZ. Can Tabata still find a way to make this final showdown intense and suspenseful even after this instant mass reviving that we just witnessed? Or was this a step too far? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this Black Clover video and you want to see more in the future, just leave that like. It only takes a second, but it helps a lot. And if you enjoy our videos but you haven't taken the time to subscribe yet, do me a favor and make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. Don't forget that you really have to go through the trouble of subscribing, hitting that bell, and then selecting the option that says all. If you don't do that, you're still gonna miss a ton of our videos even if you are subscribed. It's just how YouTube works. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. I want to give a quick thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons who make videos like this one possible. Special thank you to Alpha Sigma, he is an absolute mad lad and disciple of Lord Twigo himself. And I can't forget all of our The One tier patrons, the ones who rise above all other clans, including Ingrata, Patehefa, Aljatal, Hinokami and Water, The Toasted Chi, The Spike, Dylan Isador, Spidey Life Tanel, Tungsten Tarkus, Baked Buddhist, and Monkey D. Quilly. Finally, thank you to all of our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, the Red-Haired Raven, Angel Cruz, Rathuin Deora, Very Gucci, Alicia Akhter, Bonnie Parks, Joanne Garcia, Ted No Ted, Fatboy Games, Corey McGowan, and Soul Ray Slice and Dice. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value to you, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our Patreon exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos, along with these legendary people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!